Hello guys, one more time and welcome to Ring Royalty. My name is Alexis, as you already know, and welcome to my second Q&A here in Ring Royalty. So in my main channel, Alexis Jurani, I ask you to ask me all of the questions that you wanted me to answer, and today is the day. I'm gonna give you the tea, all of the answers that you were expecting. So thank you everybody for your submissions, and let's start with this video. The first question is from CB. Who do you see winning this year's Royal Rumble and what will her storyline be? Alright, so one of the favorites to win the Royal Rumble, and this is one that I also want to win, would be Bianca Belair. And I think her rivalry against Sasha Banks is something that would be magnificent. A lot of people are already waiting for it. So I think the storyline could be Bianca Belair demolishing each and every woman on the SmackDown roster, cleaning the path and proving why she won the Rumble. She should defeat the Riot Squad, Billie Kay, Tamina, etc, until she reaches Sasha Banks in a non-title match, and when Bianca defeats Sasha clean, the boss would start to feel frustrated, and that is when Sasha could become a tweener, not a heel, and start to look for some maybe shortcuts to defeat Bianca, as she already lost a match against her. This would elevate Bianca as a babyface and establish Sasha as a dominant champion. I think it would be a win-and-win situation. So definitely I'm intrigued if Bianca wins for her to be Sasha's challenger at WrestleMania. I hope she doesn't challenge for the Raw Women's Championship, but yeah. Sasha and Bianca could be an amazing showdown. The next question is from Khalifa M. If you could change how everything is booked in Raw and SmackDown for the women, what would you do? First, I would start by reuniting the Iconics, please. And then I would also try to fix the women's tag team division. I would try to establish the teams that we have as threats, the Riot Squad, as well as the Iconics when they come back, and I will also include the NXT Women Tag Teams in this tag team division, because the titles are supposed to be defended in all three brands, but they literally just stick on Raw or SmackDown depending on who's holding them. So I think it would be very nice to see people like Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, the Ninja Warriors, or even Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell challenge for the championships, because let's be honest, NXT has done a way better job on building women both as tag teams and singles competitor than the main roster. And the second thing that I would do, besides fixing the tag team division, is please building up more women. One of the big problems in Raw and SmackDown is that all of the main roster women revolve around 3 or 4 people. And what happens when 3 or 4 people are the only ones in the spotlight? The rest seem as afterthoughts. I would build Lacey Evans, Peyton Royce, Liv Morgan, and Ruby Riott as credible contenders for a championship. So when they have this opportunity, it wouldn't seem so random, and it wouldn't seem like it's obvious the champion is going to retain, as the challenger had no credibility. So those are the main things that I would do. Fix the women's tag team division and build some other women as credible contender for championships. A second question from Khalifa M was, if you could change someone's finisher right now for women, what and who would that be? The answer is very simple. I would change Lacey Evans' women's right. I think it could be nice as a signature move, but it's not a credible finisher. And I would give her that dude buster that she did in the Mae Young Classic against Tainara Conti. That move is unique and it's devastating. I think it would fit Lacey Evans' persona pretty well, and also establish herself as an aggressive competitor. Because if you're going to be vicious, you need a vicious looking finisher. And the Dude Buster is going to do just that. The next question is from All Things Entertainment. Who would you like to see as Raw, SmackDown, NXT, NXT UK, Women's Tag Team, AEW and Impact Women's Champion? Sorry for the long question. It was very long, but okay, let's go one by one. I would enjoy to see Peyton Royce as Raw Women's Champion by the end of 2021. I think it would be something very nice. As SmackDown Women's Champion, I mentioned Bianca Belair, but I think that is something that is going to happen eventually. So I would go with Liv Morgan. I would love to see Liv as a singles champion because she has improved wonders in the ring. Then for the NXT Women's Championship, Candice LeRae. I think she has earned it by now. From the NXT UK Women's Championship, I would love to see Ginny, and I'm surprised that she hasn't won the title yet. She's one of the main stars in NXT UK. When it comes to women tag team champions, if we're talking about active women in the roster, I guess I'll go with the Riot Squad because it's the only believable tag team in the division right now. But I low-key want Natalya and Beth Phoenix, Divas of Doom, or Pin Up Strong to win the championships at some point. Maybe one day, you never know. When it comes to AEW Women's Championship, I would love to see Britt Baker, the star of the division, as champion. I think she deserves it. And if she didn't have that injury in 2020, I guess Britt would be champion by now. And finally, in Impact Wrestling for the Knockouts Championship, I would love to see Rosemary have a second title reign. I think she was on her prime during her first reign, and I need to see that Rosemary back. Sairet Meissinev asked me, Alexa Bliss or Charlotte Flair? Oh, that's interesting. Alright, so character-wise, I'll definitely go with Alexa. She's a way better talker and she has acting skills. When it comes to wrestling ability, I'll have to say Charlotte because she's one of the best and way better than Alexa. I mean, it is pretty obvious. But if I have to choose only one, that's gonna be tough. I guess I would choose Alexa Bliss because even though Charlotte is a better wrestler, Alexa has done so many different things during her period in WWE. From her debut in the main roster as the Wicked Witch of WWE to her title reigns as Raw and SmackDown champion, she was such a cocky heel. She was so shady and I loved it. And then she moved to be this babyface along with Nikki Cross. It was entertaining as well, and her current role with The Fiend in this crazy character is just a proof that Alexa Bliss can adapt to what's given to her easily, and that is something very difficult to find in wrestling. Definitely Alexa Bliss would be my pick, but once again, great wrestlers are easier to find than great characters. That is way more important in my opinion. Santos, who do you think should win the Women's Royal Rumble 2020 except Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Ronda Rousey, who have been picked to win the pay-per-view match? Okay, so I already answered this with Bianca, but here he's not giving me Bianca as an option, so I guess if that were the case, I would go with... who do I see winning the Rumble? One pick that could win the Rumble would be Shayna Baszler. I think she should have won the Rumble last year, but of course she didn't because Charlotte Flair happened. But now it's time, after a year, that she wins the match and headlines WrestleMania, winning the championship, because even though Shayna Baszler has been a prominent force in the division during 2020, she hasn't had that singles title run yet. And that's something that is well deserved. I think she could be a vicious champion and a credible one too. So I would like Shayna Baszler to win if it wasn't Bianca Belair. Another question from X Santos would be, what's gonna be your advice or suggestion to AEW, NXT, and Impact rosters so that many viewers will watch their episodes? I'm not sure about that. I mean, I don't think most of these brands that you mentioned are doing a bad job. The Knockouts division is stacked and delivering great matches and storylines, as well as NXT and NXT UK. The only thing that I could say is that keep doing what you're doing and try to feature your women more, but in meaningful storylines. Not just throw all the women on TV for the sake of them being there. That's not necessary. If you can showcase your women, maybe 2 or 3 per week, and make believable characters out of all of them, or at least most of them, you definitely have a good product. So the ratings sometimes are not the most important. At least that's what I think. Luis Morales A. What's your biggest dream in life? Damn, that question was deep. I mean, this is the first question that is not wrestling related, but no problem. So my biggest dream in life. I mean, if you have seen my first Q&A, if you haven't, I'm gonna leave the link over here. I haven't traveled anywhere, so one of my main dreams in life would be travel around the world and also attend to different concerts. I love music and I always have a blast when I go to events or to discotheques, so I would love to go to many different concerts in many different countries. And something else that hopefully it would happen, going to an all-women wrestling pay-per-view, hopefully Evolution 2 happens and I will be able to attend. Please, God, please make this happen, because I've always wanted to see women's wrestling in front row and I haven't had the opportunity just yet. So those will be some of my biggest dreams in life. Alfonso Gutierrez had some questions for me. So, favorite theme song, favorite ring gear, favorite feud, favorite male superstar of all time, and who do you have a crush on? Oh my god, that was a lot. Okay, so for favorite theme song, I would definitely go with Sasha Banks' Sky's the Limit remix. And I will also go with Liv Morgan's song. I'm not sure what's it called. Is it Nana? Na? I don't remember, but Liv Morgan's theme song that she had during her singles run was so good. When it comes to in-ring gear, Sasha Banks is laying all the time. I mean, it's no secret that I love Sasha, and her outfits are one of the reasons why. Favorite feud, if we're talking about 2020, definitely Bayley and Sasha Banks, a monumental feud. If we're talking about all-time wrestling feud, I would go with Mickie James against Trish Stratus, one of the most iconic women's wrestling rivalries ever. And that is something that nobody can deny. That was one of the all-time great rivalries in wrestling. My favorite male superstar of all time, I think it would be between Jeff Hardy and Edge. Probably the ones that I liked the most when I was a kid and I started watching wrestling, so that's definitely going to be my all-time favorites. And who did I have a crush on? When I was younger, I had a crush on Maryse. I mean, who wouldn't? She's just gorgeous, she's like a doll. And if we're talking about man crushes, because I had one man crush, actually two, would be Legacy, Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase. I mean, they look pretty good together as well. Fan fiction time. AJ had some questions for me. The first one being best Divas champion and the worst, most wasted women in WWE and TNA. When it comes to the best Divas champion, I would go all the way with AJ Lee. She elevated the division and put it back on the map, so undeniable. When it comes to the most wasted women in WWE, I have to go with Jillian Hall. I think she had so much potential, she was such an entertaining character, and she was such a good athlete, but she never got the chance to show it with her 450 splash and some other moves that she had in her arsenal that we never saw in WWE. So definitely a wasted talent. In TNA, when it comes to wasted talent, I'm gonna go with Daphne. I think she wasn't used to her full potential and she could have been the first Rosemary. She could have been as big as that and have a title reign too, but we all know that never happened. The next question from AJ is, do you speak Spanish? Yes, of course, I mean, I'm Peruvian. Obviamente hablo español y si alguien que está escuchando español, el que ahora no habla bien español. Y si alguien que me está escuchando habla español, les mando un fuerte abrazo y gracias por seguir el canal. So thank you very much if you are a Spanish speaker, because I appreciate that you're following the channel, and if you want to learn Spanglish, here you have the teacher. The final question from this Q&A is from Michael Hernandez. Who should return in Royal Rumble except to all the women that cooperate in Royal Rumble 2018? That's a pretty nice question. So we had a lot of returns in 2018. I think one of the main ones missing will be Melina. I mean, there are a lot of rumors that she's coming back. AJ Lee, I know it's pretty much impossible by now, but I still have some hope that AJ someday would return. Victoria, because she really deserves it. Even though she's retired, she can come back for one more match. Jazz, she's currently in the Impact Wrestling Knockouts tournament, but she can make an appearance in WWE, why not? And the last one would be Maryse. I think Maryse is a woman that could easily make an appearance because she has been part of WWE during 2018, but she didn't appear in the Rumble, so I would love to see at least one small participation from our lovely French-Canadian wrestler in the Royal Rumble. Alright, so that was my Q&A number 2. I hope that you enjoy. I try to answer as much questions as I could. If I haven't answered your question, I'm so sorry, but leave it down in the comments, so maybe in the third Q&A I will be able to answer it. Thank you once again for all of your submissions. This video wouldn't be possible without them, so thank you very much. And it's a new year. I'm planning to do a lot of new things in the channel, so stay tuned. We're about to reach the 400 subscribers, and that is unbelievable. It blew my mind when I noticed that, so thank you very much. I'm never gonna get tired of thanking you. My name is Alexis, as you already know. Here is my social media. If you want to tell me anything, I'm always answering your messages, and I will see you guys next week with more videos and entertaining content. Goodbye.